It's April, so you know what that means. It's time to talk about some upcoming crowdfunding games. Let's do this. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about 15 upcoming crowdfunding games for the month of April. And because this video is coming to you guys late, I will have a special game that is coming out later to Kickstarter, maybe not this month, but sometime soon. So make sure you stay to the end of the video for that game. Now, let's get right into the video. Now for the first game, I'm not actually too excited for, but I am interested to see how it's going to turn out. And that is a new game coming to GameFound on March 5th by Cyanide and Happiness. Now not too much is really known about this game other than the fact that it's going to be some type of party card game. Now I do believe this is going to be based off the comic book series that they have on their YouTube channel. So I wonder how that's going to fit into this game. Now I do feel like this one's going to raise a lot of money based off the supporters of these creators, but gameplay wise, I'm not too sure if this is going to be a really good game. I mean, if you're a fan of the creators, then this is something that you should definitely be interested in, but it's going to be a simple card game, just keep that in mind. They do have a special going on. If you back this game, I think you're going to be able to get some figurines of those comic book characters. So if that interests you, then definitely check this one out. If you guys want me to cover this one, let me know in the comment section down below. When it does drop, I'll make sure to do so. Gamestormers coming to Kickstarter on April 5th, a 3 to 6 player creative tableau card building game where you are trying to create the perfect game. Each card in your tableau earns you points, as well as other bonuses that you can activate by reaching certain objectives. There are 2 ways to win the game. Either you create a game that is worth the most amount of victory points, or receive the most votes by the best overall game by your fellow players. Now this is a game about a game creating your own game. Kind of confusing, but sounds like it could be a lot of fun. Fortress of Terror coming to Kickstarter, a roll and write solo adventure game where you play as a simple peasant that will become a humble hero. Explore and escape as you move around a maze. You move around the maze using a pool of dice that are rolled each round. However, you can never retrace your steps as the maze has a curse. Dirt floor of the fortress will crumble beneath your every step. If you manage to complete the chapter's objective and escape the maze, you will advance to the next chapter until you reach the final battle. If you like solo roll and write adventure games, then I highly recommend to check this one out. This looks like it's going to be a game for you. Next up we have The Dark Quarter coming April 12th to Kickstarter. This is a co-op adventure app game where you take on the role of 1 to 4 different characters, each one having their own unique backstory that is being revealed as you play the game. The game is partnered with Lucky Duck and Van Ryder Games, so you know this is going to be a great horror game with an M rating to boot. I did get a prototype copy for this, so stay tuned for my review. However, if you like narrative horror games with a mature rating, then this is definitely going to be a game for you to check out. Now next up we also have Far Cry Beyond, a dungeon crawl scenario legacy game that was also pushed back to April. Now I think this one was pushed back because the IP is not grabbing as many followers as I think they hoped. So I think this might be pushed back even more. We'll have to wait to see. Other than the IP, nothing about this game really stands out for me. But I'll make sure to cover it when it drops on Kickstarter to keep you guys informed. But this next game though looks like it's going to be something to check out. Paradox Initiative coming to Kickstarter also April 12th. Players are mad scientists competing to claim strands of space-time from the worlds across the multiverse. Now doesn't that sound cool, being a mad scientist exploring the multiverse? Paradox Initiative takes on familiar board game elements such as card drafting, set collection, and resource management. Like I said, this one does sound like it's going to be a lot of fun to play, so make sure you keep your eye on this one. Another game coming to Kickstarter April 12th is Stellar Expedition. Now I don't know what it is about April 12th, but we're getting a lot of crowdfunding games that day, so make sure you hang on to your wallets. This is a science fiction exploration board game for 2 to 4 players. The game is played over 8 different rounds, and it is a race to bring home the most expedition points. Explore, recruit crew members, build and acquire resources as you travel through a gate known as the Nameless. But there is only a limited amount of time before the gate closes and you can return home. Play as different captains and their spaceships. There's also a hex-style map for players to explore through. Lawyer Up Season 2. It is an asymmetrical 2-player courtroom drama card game where one player is playing as a noble prosecutor and the other is the steadfast defense attorney. Each game begins with the discovery phase where players will draft virtual evidence to support their case and bury evidence that might help their opponent. Next is the trial phase where players will call witnesses and play powerful arguments along with any evidence that they have drafted. Season 2 will come with more new case files that will introduce new mechanics to make the game feel fresh and new. If you want to be a good lawyer, then you gotta be good at board games. Am I right? Elric Rise of the Young Kingdoms, coming to Kickstarter April 18th. Based off the Michael Moorcock's epic saga comes a new adventure board game. Players are champions of law or chaos in this universe of Young Kingdoms. Either fight in the eternal war or play as the resistant fighters. Now I will admit, this one is a little bit of a stretch as I don't know too much about this game, but if you're a fan of the novels, then this is something I think you should definitely check out. And I haven't heard too many people talk about this game yet, so I'll have a link down below if you want to learn more about this game. Assault on Doomrock Ultimate Edition. A cooperative fantasy board game of Doom for 1 to 4 players. A complete and updated version of the cooperative Assault on Doomrock. A 3-act fantasy adventure campaign featuring exploration and combat. The game focuses on a gridless battle system and encounters powered by a highly thematic AI. Now next up, I have a board game adjacent campaign, but I'm including it on this list because they're just so freaking cute. Kobold Plushies. Plushies inspired by the fantasy tabletop games. Now if you have kids or you're just looking to add some plushies to your collection, I'm not judging, then definitely check this one out. Also on GameFound we have Spaceline, a 3-lane card dueling game where you are managing an army of 7 cards. Each round you will decide where to deploy your cards to battle. Use your battle effects with careful timing to win the battle in as many lanes as possible, but you can't win them all, so you must choose carefully. Choose between 4 different asymmetric armies, each with their own unique systems and strategies. If you like card dueling games with different types of powers and it has a lane-based system, then this might be something to check out. I'm interested in this one, so that is why I'm including it on the list, but I want to see how it turns out on GameFound. I hope you guys have learned about a new game coming to Kickstarter or GameFound this month, and if you did, definitely show that like button some love because it really helps out this channel. Now back to the video. Last Light, a fast-paced 4X strategy game for 2 to 4 players. The game has 3D planets and a rotating game board which players are playing asymmetrical alien factions simultaneously to gather light right before the heat death of the universe. It comes with some cool looking components and the first player to gather 20 light will be the winner. Sleeping Gods Distant Skies. This is a standalone sequel set in the same world as Sleeping Gods. Although Sleeping Gods Distant Skies builds on the story elements in the first game, you do not need to play Sleeping Gods in order to enjoy this one. The game features new characters and storylines explaining concepts from the original game as you encounter them. Return to the world of Sleeping Gods and experience a new thrilling tale. Now if you like the original Sleeping Gods game, or maybe you haven't got a chance to play it, this is definitely something I think you should check out. It has a really good solo mode, really good artwork, but I'll make sure to cover it more when it drops on GameFound so I can let you know my personal thoughts and opinions when I see more about the game. Now next up, we have a game that's easy to learn, but also fast, technical, and has a brutal gaming experience for 1 to 4 players. Anastyr. There's going to be high detailed miniatures, and each player will take on the role of a powerful hero that will face hordes of enemies and monsters, wizards, and warlords. All very different depending on the environment in which they live. Each hero will have their own equipment and fighting style that will evolve during the course of their journey. Now look, this game does have great artwork and high detail miniatures, so it's going to be a really good game, I'm sure, for Mythic, but that should not be the only reason why you back Kickstarter games. You should also wait to see some gameplay and a rulebook to make up your final mind. I know that's what I'll do, but I have to wait till the Kickstarter to make my final decision if it's going to be a good game or not. Now it's time for me to talk about a new game that is coming to Kickstarter fairly soon, and that is by Ludus Magnus Studios, and that is The Breach. Now I love the way they are marketing this game. If you go to the website, they'll give you hints and clues of different codes that you can decipher to unlock more reveals about this game. And I think that's just really awesome. Those miniatures look very cool. You can kind of see some of those tiles that they've developed so far. I'll have a link down below to the Facebook group and to the website so you guys can learn more about this game, and check out this video right here where you can learn about 10 fully cooperative board games. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.